into a panel of young change makers. This is an amazing group from 3C Creates, from 3C, sorry, which is the this wonderful group of young people, and they are involved in creating initiatives that are purpose driven. And so they're going to come and they're going to talk to us today about what that means and how they're working to inspire 1 million kids and teens to donate their time and talent for a social cause. And they are going to how they're creating different opportunities for youth, such as tech programming, entrepreneurship events, and service projects, business fairs, and lots of different opportunities to empower youth to get into STEM and create purpose-driven initiatives with their purpose. And so I'm thrilled today to welcome Neal Vedullapalli. Neal is a high school sophomore. He's the lead organizer of 3C, and he's a T-Mobile Ashoka Change Maker winner. He is passionate about cars, climate change, and creating smiles. And so Neal, with that, I will turn it over to you to introduce the panelists.
Thanks, Olivia, for the awesome introduction. So, hi everyone, my name is Neal Vedullapalli, and I'm the lead organizer for Creative Children for Charity. Our mission is to inspire 1 million kids and teens to donate their time and talent for a social cause. 3C creates 3 types of opportunities for kids. The first one is technology programs such as STEAM 3D that allows kids to develop new skills. The second is entrepreneurship events such as the Seattle Accent Children's Business Fair to empower youth to become entrepreneurs. And the third one is service projects that bring youth together to support nonprofits. And to date, 3C has donated over 11,000 volunteer hours, worked with more than 6,500 youth, and supported 17 nonprofits in the community. We are so excited to be here creating opportunities for youth and also be spending time with all of you guys. Thank you, Veranda and Women Cloud, for the opportunity. So during COVID, we have noticed that it has been especially hard for the youth community with the lack of access and opportunities. According to a recent McGraw-Hill survey, fewer than half, 41%, of college students feel well prepared for their future careers. When asked with what would have made them feel better and more prepared, the largest percentage of students, 51%, responded with more internships and professional experiences. Yet, the majority of teens feel that an internship is long, rigorous work with the image of doing grunt work, like getting coffee and other jobs that aren't related to the career. People also view them as low-paying jobs compared to other places of work. Today, though, we are here to redefine the image of youth internships. Youth internships are incredibly important. They're here to help one gain experience in a field that one wants to be in and gives one access to mentorship opportunities and helps to create a strong professional network amongst other things. Recent surveys have also found that internships can increase in the employment opportunities for youth. And they found that 70% of youth who had an internship went on to receive a job offer. Here at 3C, in partnership with WIC, we have developed an innovative STEM-based micro-internships for youth to help them jumpstart their careers in the tech sector and to foster leadership and self-confidence skills, with also connecting them to professional mentors. With that, I'd like to introduce Hitesh, Srikar, Nikhita, and Asmita from our program. And also Cassidy, too. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today?
I'm good, Neal. How are you?
Good. It's definitely like really early in the morning, but I'm excited for this panel to get on and get rolling. How are you guys? How are you doing, Hitesh? How are you doing, Nikhita, Asmita, Srikar, and Cassidy?
Doing good. How are you, Neal?
Good, good. It's just early in the morning, but I'm still excited.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll start off the panel by can you guys introduce one of your each of yourselves and with the best advice that you guys have ever received?
I can go first. So hi everyone, I'm Hitesh and I'm a developer and maker from Seattle, Washington. As part of the internship program, I'm currently working on a tech project focused around youth mentorship with Srikar. And the best advice I've ever been given, especially because I'm a worrier, is to stop worrying about factors you can't control and to put all that effort you spend worrying into the things you can control, as that's the only change you can really make.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We'll go on to Nikhita.
Yeah, hello. I am Nikhita Penugonda, and I live in Bellevue. I'm a sophomore who aspires to become an astrophysicist. I'm so excited to be part of 3C's internship program, and I'm currently creating an app to combat climate change. I've received a lot of helpful advice, but I think that one that really stuck out to me and changed my life is to never let fear or doubt stop me from seizing opportunities. Sometimes, especially for me, it takes a lot of courage to kind of step out of my comfort zone and agree to try something new. But I've learned to take that first step and overcome my nervousness. I'm really able to learn and grow.
I loved how you were talking about how going outside your comfort zone really helped you to grow. And with that, we'll go to Asmita.
Hi, everybody. I'm Asmita Malakar, and I'm a high school junior from Cary, North Carolina. And currently, I'm working on an AI ethics project, basically researching the discrimination, the bias in AI that starts from youths. And I think the best advice that I've ever received in my life is to always be responsible for your actions, because in the real world, you really have nobody else to blame but yourself for all of your successes and your failures.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Srikar, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Srikar, everyone. I'm a programmer from Seattle, Washington, and I'm going to be working on a youth mentorship platform with Hitesh. And I feel like the best advice I've ever received is always try something. Even if it feels out of reach, always try it because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's awesome. Cassidy, would you like to introduce yourself too?
Yes, my name is Cassidy. I live in Oakland, California. And the best advice I've ever received is like when I was in grade school, I was being bullied a lot. You know, people were like pulling my hair, just calling me names. And my mom always told me that I was smart, beautiful, and courageous, and that advice stuck to me.
That's awesome. I loved how you had to rise above the bullies and just be who you are and be smart, beautiful, and courageous. With that, we'll go on to our second question. How do you guys define leadership? And we will start with Cassidy.
I define leadership like it's just working together, creating new strategies to help people who are going through unfortunate scenarios in society. As a team, we can influence those people by encouraging them to pay it forward, as well as giving them a boost of self-esteem.
Yeah, that's awesome. Giving someone a boost of self-esteem is definitely helpful because as we're in COVID and we're just even though we're going in person to school as youth, it's definitely hard because there's still so many restrictions that, oh, we can't do this, oh, we can't do that. So I love your advice of how leadership is to give someone a boost of self-esteem. Hitesh, how would you describe leadership?
So for me, I feel like it's being able to influence others all towards one common goal and obviously positively influencing them. And I think I left it pretty broad because it's just more of when you experience it, you kind of just get into it. But for me, it's just being able to influence others in a positive way towards one overarching goal.
Yeah, no, leadership is definitely not a defined term for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of things that are in combination for leadership. Um, Nikhita, Asmita, Srikar, do you have any other thoughts?
Yeah.
So, go
Oh,
ahead.
so for me, leadership is like the art of influencing people positively and by example. Growing up playing a lot of team sports, I learned that you can't really motivate others with just words or intimidation, and that there was a much bigger impact with leadership when leading through example and motivating the team through positively and significant actions.
Yeah. Asmita, would you like to continue?
Yeah, sure. So in my opinion, I think leadership is having to basically serve others and to put their needs over your insecurities and fears. Because most of the leaders I've met in my life, including myself, they're not invincible. They have fears. As I took on more leadership roles in my life, I had to like conquer so many fears from like smaller ones like the fear of dark to like the fear of failure. And I think that having the will to basically serve others and put their needs over your own fears or your own needs is what defines a leader or makes you a leader.
I love how you both of you guys were talking about like how you have to show your vulnerability and you have to lead by example. And when you're leading by example, you also have to show everything that is happening to you. It's not like you're the pitch perfect person that, oh, I'm perfect, so you should follow me, you know? Nikita, would you like to, how do you define leadership?
Yeah, I agree with what everyone else said. I think that leadership is both a skill and a tool that you can kind of continually cultivate and use to create some sort of lasting change. I think that leadership is and inspire and help others become their best selves by helping them develop their skills and achieve their goals. There have been a lot in my life who have shaped me to who I am today. But my specific definition stems from a space enthusiast who was leading a competition I participated in. And I think her passion and her support and optimism really inspired me to pursue my own interest in space and encouraged me to do my best.
Yeah, I love that you were saying about how it's the ability to inspire and motivate people. And um, yeah, just tying this with COVID too, like people are lot less motivated, in my opinion. You guys can always add to this, but seeing just being a leader takes on a lot of responsibility, and you have to uh, inspire and motivate people with that. So I'm gonna go on to our next question. Each of you guys signed up for internship opportunities, and what motivated each one of you guys, and what types of projects are you working on, and why?
Okay, so I personally applied initially. I actually applied through the same event I think last year, or like I kind of found out about everything. Like there was a youth panel, and then right after there was a networking event, and kind of through that I found out about everything. And then I applied because I was looking for an opportunity to like kind of build my development skills and my software skills, and I just and then this one seemed to work, and it turned out to be a lot more than that, which is even better because I was expecting just code, but now it's like there's a lot more. There's programming, there's leadership. It's a lot more than just it's like a internship project. And now currently I'm working on an application slash tool that will allow for large entities like schools or school districts to match their students with adult mentors, as I kind of felt like that was something that really helped me. And I think that's a great way for me to kind of use my skills to contribute.
That's awesome. That's awesome how you wanted to find an opportunity to build your development skills and work on more official projects. Cassidy, would you like to share with us why you decided to sign up for the internship opportunities?
Sure. I signed up because after, I was bullied, I had to spread the word. It was extremely traumatic for me, and I had a hard time socializing in life. I signed up for this internship because I wanted to share my experience with bullying over the years and have a chance to influence people all over the world.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Bullying is definitely traumatic for a lot of people, and um, just spreading the word out definitely helps to bring awareness and to hopefully stop bullying for a lot of places around the world. Srikar, would you like to share why you signed up?
Yeah, so for me, I was involved with 3C pretty early. They originally had a 3D printing competition that I participated in, and then that was like a couple years ago. But from there, I was able to uh, stay connected with the network, and through that, I heard about these internships, and I decided to apply at first to these internships because I was looking for an opportunity where I could use my technical skills to develop something that positively impacts our community. And I saw that this opportunity in front of me, the 3C internship, was perfect for that. So with that in mind, I'm very grateful to be able to work on a project with Hitesh, where I could develop something to help numerous kids find their mentorship solutions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you share what you did at the hackathon, that's 3D printing hackathon?
Oh yeah. So it was a couple years ago, but it was kind of a first taste into the 3D printing world. So we had about 2 days to design, or 2 days to find a problem, develop a solution, design that solution through a software on our computer, and then print out that solution with the 3D printers. So we had to develop a product and then print it out. And then from there, it was like a Shark Tank style pitch where you stood on a stage and then there were about 6 judges staring at you. Um, so yeah, that's how the process went. But eventually, they would judge you based on your product, how feasible it is, how realistic it is, and then from there they would determine a winner.
Yeah, no. Can you explain? You were talking about the 6 judges. Can you explain what you like felt when you were going in front of those judges?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely nerve-wracking at first. So my team was me and then two of my friends, and we realized that a lot of the judges were like in pretty significant positions in their respective companies. So our focus was to make a product that seemed realistic and seemed feasible to go to market. So that was our main focus because we knew that that's what the judges would uh, like value more. So we kept that in mind, and then we ended up being pretty successful in that competition.
Yeah, I love how you're talking about how you just really wanted to hone the fact that this is how it works and this is why we should win. With that, Nikita, what's motivated you to sign up for the internship opportunities?
Yeah, so climate change is obviously a real and undeniable threat to our entire civilization and our planet. And so recently I completed a project about global warming for Girl Scouts, which was super interesting and really intrigued me to work more in this field. So I discovered this micro internship at 3C to work on the climate action project. And I thought that it was such a wonderful opportunity to make a change. We live Most people don't realize that time spent online can also contribute to climate change. So currently, I'm developing an app to help youth recognize and reduce their digital carbon footprint because they're the generation that depend most heavily on technology.
Yeah, can you explain more about your project?
Yeah, so the app is called Eco, and basically, youth can input their time spent on the internet into the app, and um, it'll give them kind of suggestions on how they can start to reduce their time spent on the internet so that they can decrease their digital carbon footprint, which will contribute to the fight for our planet.
That sounds awesome. Like personally for me, like I don't realize how much like carbon emissions I'm making when I'm being on like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. So I think that app will be really like influential for us as a society to see how much we can cut down on our searching, just like random searches, or just to see how much we are impacting the planet ourselves. And with that, with impacting the planet, Asmita, how can you explain your project or like why you applied for the internship opportunities?
Yes, definitely. So I think the reason that I applied for this internship opportunity is because that I was very, even before coming to this internship opportunity, I was very passionate about technology and wanted to impact that field. And when I found out about the AI ethics project, I was automatically interested in it because I think that in the field of technology, I don't think there's any gender, I don't think there's any race. I think all that matters is your skills. So to be able to impact this field, especially from the point of view of a youth, is something that means a lot to me. And I'm very glad that I'm able to take on this project and build a research paper that talks about how this discrimination in artificial intelligence, starts from a very early age.
Yeah. Can you explain the discrimination of AI?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the bias in AI is something that's becoming an increasingly known topic that there's been multiple instances where an artificial intelligence software was able fail to detect people of certain race or certain gender, and that's because a lot of the test samples that are used is largely biased. And I think the issue with this bias starts very early on. I think that even in my computer science classes, even in my largely technical classes, I've seen the huge divide between genders, between race, and I think that eventually, in my opinion, leads to that issue later on. And I think that by researching this topic, I'll be able to possibly raise more awareness about this issue and possibly influence other youths to get interested in the field of technology, regardless of their gender, race, ethnicity, etc.
Cut off, but I know Dina had a question in the chat about how people can get or about teens who can get involved. I would definitely say my piece of advice for that is to network, definitely, because one of the reasons I got involved through this was networking and finding opportunities that allow me to use my skills to make a positive impact. um and then just be like open-minded, I guess. Finding clubs and schools that provide resources to things like this, and all that could definitely get you involved in programming and tech. And I'm sure if someone wants to step in, they have some pieces of advice as well.
I think just like
I would
taking every opportunity, sorry, I think taking every opportunity you can get, or you that even seems like something that can grow into something else, is probably my best advice, because that's how everything I've done in tech and like this whole programming field has come to be. It's just you see something that seems like it might lead to something, and just going for it and just taking the opportunity usually will lead or might end up leading to something a lot more. And that's kind of how like I kind of got into the whole tech space.
I would just suggest like building your own personal projects first. I mean, of course, internships, and jobs can come later on. But I think building your own portfolio first would be like a key step. Attending hackathons, and then also reaching out to people. Cold emails, cold calls, etc. Reaching out to people and asking for opportunities will also definitely serves as a very efficient way to get involved in the field of technology.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Cold emails for me, I've before this event, I sent out so many like emails with zero response. Okay. Like I would say like in the title, like, oh, response requested. No. So yeah, I think like cold emails are definitely scary for sure. But it's definitely a good skill. Okay. Um I glitched out, so I don't know what you guys were talking about, but from what I heard, it was amazing discussion. So I'm just gonna continue on with our panel, and I'd like to ask Hitesh, what is one leadership related skill that you are working to improve on?
Okay, so for me, I think I usually do pretty well with like general leadership especially in projects. But one thing I tend to not do so great at is the people who tend to be more quiet but still have ideas. Their ideas either get overpowered or they just don't want to always share them. I think like encouraging them and to be part of the discussion, especially during those initial brainstorming phases, and encouraging them to like uh, contribute their ideas and just like be part of the entire like overall group itself is something that I personally want to work on, because I feel like I have a big presence when in these discussion, like in general discussions, and I feel like I tend to forget about the people that try to remain like quiet. But I think like helping them bring out their ideas is something I really want to work on.
Yeah, that's definitely I think that's a skill that everyone needs to work on. Like some people are definitely like take the smaller role, while some other people take like the larger role in like a group. So definitely like learning how to like manage it so everyone has equal responsibility is definitely an important
Yeah.
skill, not just for you but for everyone to learn. Asmita, Cassidy, Nikhita, Srikar, do you have anything to add?
So I definitely like what Hitesh said about being very inclusive with everyone. I feel like that's where a group really succeeds, because sometimes the quietest person has the best ideas. So keeping everyone engaged through discussion and keeping everyone included, that definitely drives a group forward and develops the best innovation.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Anyone else have anything to add? With that, I'm going to ask Nikhita. Acquiring leadership skills to lead your project is critical. During the entire project process, what deliverables did you work on during the micro internship project?
So over the last couple of months, one of the most important deliverables I worked on was the strategic brief, a document that outlines the project ideas and goals. So I think research was a huge step in completing this document because accurate data was essential. And while working on this deliverable, I really learned and understood the importance of good planning and organization, two things that I really tended to kind of skip over or try and go really fast. But when drafting this document, it really helped me fully develop my idea, and I was able to make a comprehensive and detailed plan. So this strategic brief really helped me just lay down the foundation of my idea and express my project goals in a clear and concise document.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Like research is definitely like super important to anything that we all do. I mean, it helps us like to understand like different perspectives and let us gain more information, you know? So I'm gonna open this question up to everybody. When you guys were doing research for your strategic brief, what did you learn and what did you learn?
I think a major thing that I learned was that when I was doing research is that you should be careful about your sources. I think that we have a tendency to get information. Information is just so widely available in a digitized world that we have a tendency to believe everything or get information from anywhere. And I think the one thing I learned is to be very particular about that, to trust only certain sources and be very careful about where I'm getting information to and how I'm going to be delivering it to others.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Hitesh, Srikar, Cassidy, do you have anything to add?
I don't have anything specific to add about like sources themselves because our project didn't require as much research. But I think this applies to everyone's project overall. I'm assuming, but motivation, especially when you have other things going on in your life, is something that's a little bit difficult and that I had to learn to like overcome. Where you need to like kind of like set up a routine and not rely on yourself to be passionate every single day about the project, because even if you want it to, unfortunately it doesn't work that way, at least for me. So I had to set up like a routine to remind myself to like get back on it and like start again, and it was like kind of like rather than constant work, it's been like you have to like remotivate yourself every so often to get back into it, which I think was one of the biggest things I noticed and learned throughout this 6, 7 months we work on the project.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Um, Remotivating yourself is definitely important, especially in research. And each of you are working on a purpose-driven project. What do you guys want to accomplish by implementing your guys' projects into the world, and how will you know that you achieved the outcomes? We will start. Yeah, Asmita.
Okay. So I think that my project is basically based on examining how the uh, how certain certain things among the youths influence the bias in AI, such as the discrimination in classes, etc. And I think that this is too big of a gap for anybody to solve single-handedly very quickly. But I do hope to raise more awareness about this issue because I think our youths are the future of our world. So I think if we can raise more awareness about this issue, and impact them to make decisions to positively contribute to it, then I think that there can be there can be a huge step taken against this bias, and I think that that's the main purpose of my research project. And I think it's definitely difficult, to see how I'm successful, because I'm impacting so many people on such a wide scale, and people may reciprocate my project differently. But I think even if I can impact one person to be um, to look at the tech field in a different way, then I will know that I'm successful in my project.
Yeah, no, I definitely think researching the impact of bias within AI will impact a lot of people, not just one person. So I like really love your project, Asmita. Hitesh, would you like to, can you tell us more about your project?
So I feel like Srikar covered it a little bit, but I'll just say a little bit more. So essentially, there's a lot, like we feel that there's a lack of mentors and mentors being assigned to youth throughout just the general industry. And especially because when I've had to go through like getting into the whole space, I personally did not have any adult mentors, and I had to like basically make the mistakes, and I think will continue to make the mistakes that people have already made and learned from, and like bridging that connection where if someone does have a mentor, they'll easily know what mistakes to avoid much quicker and have a much smoother path, just like from starting in the tech industry, I think any industry, to be honest. And so they'll be able to get through much quicker and rise much higher. And we feel so overall I kind of focus with Srikar on that in the project, and to be able to like build these connections. And so after talking to Chai a little bit, we came to school districts because that's the easiest way to reach so many kids at once. So we just making it easier for school districts to implement this, like to be able to match their students with like industry mentors, makes it that allows for so many students to have industry mentors. So we're kind of targeting that one area so we can like hit as much of a wide impact as possible and like give all of these students mentors they need for their future careers.
Yeah. Um, by helping youth get access to mentors will help us redefine mentorship and internships to be something from a grudge to a fun thing. So
Yeah.
with that, Shrikart, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I could piggyback back off of that. So I know for Hitesh and I, like the reason we're so driven on this project is because we experienced it firsthand of not having a mentor in our lives. So we definitely wanted to create a medium where kids can go to meet a mentor because it can positively impact their lives in such a meaningful way. And I believe it's really, really important, not only for the kid, but for the mentor as well, knowing that they are impacting someone that could have a pretty big impact later on in life. And another concept that I would like to highlight is like the idea of paying it forward, so that kid, they could be impacted by a mentor now, but what's more important is that later on, they could become the mentor. So it's important to give that advice later on so that they can learn from their experiences as they're going on, and they can pay it forward to other kids.
Yeah, I love how you're talking about how the mentor will also learn, and it won't just be the mentee, but also I love how you're talking about paying it forward for anything you do.
Yep.
Asmita, I'm going to ask you a personal question. What did you learn about yourself when there was no governing force to help you finish the project?
I think one thing that I learned about myself is that I often tend to overestimate myself and take on more than I can actually accomplish. I think we all know that not to be super underconfident, not to give up opportunity. We encourage others to always go for the opportunities they wish to have. But I think we should also teach ourselves, to be more humble and to better understand ourselves and what we are able to accomplish, because promising more than what we can give can often lead to problems for not only oneself but also others. So I think that's one of the main things that I've learned without a governing force.
Yeah, I love how you were saying about uh, taking more than what you can give definitely like demotivates you to continue a project because you see like a huge pile of work and then you're like, do I really want to do that? No, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it there whenever when I have time. So yeah, I really love your advice. Srikar, all of y'all could answer this question. How are you guys driving this project? And do you have any advice for other kids to work on their projects? And we'll start off with Srikar.
For Hitesh and I, a lot of our drive in this project comes from breaking it up into the smaller, kind of more deliverable tasks. So from the surface, developing such a large web application designed to hold large number of kids and mentors seems intimidating. But when we split up the project to take one step at a time towards the final product, we can make the project look less daunting. And it also fosters an idea of improving our idea along the way. So when we split it up into several elements, sometimes we can see that one element may not be necessary or that we can improve on it. So that's really how we've been handling things. And that's how we've been able to stay focused and kind of just take one step at a time to building the final product.
I love how you're talking about doing everything one step at a time because
Yep.
it definitely helps one to look at work and make it less daunting for them to actually accomplish the work.
Definitely.
Nikhita, what is advice? What is your advice for kids to work on their projects?
Yeah, so I think that the urge is always there to kind of skip through all the boring stuff like planning and organization and just jump straight to, oh, we're gonna like do this, we're gonna develop this app, write this paper, like get it done, get the fun stuff, just jump straight to the fun stuff. But like one step at a time, just like Srikar was saying, like do the organization, do the planning, because if you've got a set idea and you know exactly how you're gonna accomplish it, it's way more likely that you won't middle, and that's going to help really with motivation and the will to work on this project. If you have an action plan and you just need to carry out that plan, the motivation to actually do that is a lot easier to monitor than every step of the way you have to think, what am I going to do next? Where's this going to go? So I think just taking some time at the beginning and coming up with a good plan can really help you both in accomplishing what you want and also keeping up your motivation to actually work on the project.
Yeah, I love how you're talking about the action plan and not skipping from the boring stuff to the fun stuff really quickly. Cassidy, do you have any advice for kids to work on their projects that they might be curating?
Mom, it's not working. Okay, sorry. I was breaking up. My advice for kids for their projects is just don't let anyone take you down. Just focus on the hard work. That's always important because you will get to the success. And yeah, just keep on pushing through.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome. Like, uh, focusing to be like true to yourself is definitely important when you're working on a project that might be have a lot of people supporting you or not having anyone that is supporting you. So, yeah, I love that advice, Cassidy. We're a little crunch on time right now, so I'm gonna. So we have learned a lot today. We have learned that uh, that micro interns are working on the purpose driven project. We learned that to not when you're doing a project, you shouldn't overestimate what you can do and just be true to yourself. By making an action plan and working step by step, people will be able to achieve what they want. And by learning how to manage the time, like their people's, let's say like when, by learning how to manage how you can be a leader, but also be a listener, it will be easier for people to lead in an environment. So again, I want to thank Veranda and Women in Cloud for helping us to create this amazing opportunity, and we are excited to be here. If you're interested, 3C will be hosting the micro internship project again for next year, and if you're interested, we'll be sending out a link in the chat. And we should be done. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you, you incredible panelists. I am so inspired, and I admit I'm kind of embarrassed because you are putting me to shame with your incredible presentation skills and public speaking skills. And the future is bright with young leaders like you guys leading the charge. And so thank you all for being here today and for talking to us and inspiring us. So I'm going to now invite Chaitra up, and she's going to talk to us about what's going to happen next with our roundtables, our mentorship roundtables.
Hello, good morning. And I'm so glad you all are here. Did you have fun this morning?
On.
Yeah, I am so inspired by the youth and Gretchen and Akhtar. It was fabulous. So here is what we are going to do. So Neal, you can actually switch off your camera and mic and get off the stage and all good. Excellent. So now we go into the mentoring circle, and Olivia, it'll be fun. We both are here on this. So first is, how many of you are youth in the network today? Put +1 in the chat so we know to help you to get the right engagement today. So Hattie, Asmita, okay. Excellent. So I also have a surprise treat. Before we get into the mentoring, I would love to have Sloan come in. She was also in the internship program. However, due to some communication challenges, we couldn't get her on the stage. So Sloan, I would like you to come with me for a couple of minutes. Your journey in doing the internship project. So first is introduce yourself and where are you calling in today?
Hello everyone, I'm Nodi. I am volunteering in a children's home in Jamaica. I'm teaching them French and drawing. I was working on the youth entrepreneurship and leadership project. I learned a lot. I learned to stand up for myself in things I am like maybe relationship with others, to stand up and talk. And also I learn to really plan. When I have a project, I need to sit down and write what I want to, a strategy brief, dream 50 list, people that I want that are in this field and that are really successful, take them as mentor. I learned also that really we can really be wonderful. We don't have to be scared or a fear because I remember when I don't remember if Mrs. Cheto, I remember that, but because I'm Asian, she in the beginning I was scared, and she said to me, okay, we are going slow because she will think in French, And that was really amazing. I didn't think, I could do all these things, but they teach me, and I learned about confidence. I learned about team spirit with the other young entrepreneurs. They really inspired me. So this was really wonderful experience.
Awesome. So Sloan, your network is a little not getting connected. So can all of you hear our voice? Let me ask you that, because I know we cannot see on the screen. Yes? Okay, perfect. So Sloan, next question I have, did you have fun doing the internship project?
Yes, I really had fun in the internship project. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I really had fun, especially with Tucker Stein. It was one of the responsible to help us prepare our statement, our speaking. It was really wonderful, and he teach us all to be clear about what we want, what our project is, to give a statement. And he was explaining, you could see through what he was saying that he was really passionate about it, and that really was fun.
Awesome. So Sloan, I want you to hold your fingers, like take it to hold up like this and rub your hands. So all the kids, when you are going to go into your mentoring session, you will be nervous because you're going to meet adults. So to remove the anxiety, just rub your tips and to feel it. So what happens is the anxiety goes away. And the same thing is applicable for the adults, because you're going to meet with the kids and you don't know how to have a conversation, right? So you can also rub your tips and feel it. What it will do is you get to calm yourself down. So anytime any one of you are feeling anxiety, talking to an adult or a kid, this is the best way. Do you see it, Sloan? Yes. So now we are going to go into a mentoring session. What are you looking forward to talking to the mentors who are going to be here today?
I would like to connect to mentors that are in entrepreneurship area, where I can get more perspective and to help me develop further my idea of project that was a young entrepreneurship and leadership project called White Tiger.
Awesome. That is good. Can you tell about your White Tiger project?
My White Tiger project, first I chose the name because white tiger are one of the rarest animals become every once in a generation. And I believe that young entrepreneur that as choose, because even though at school we were not taught to do entrepreneurship, we were taught to just work, to try to work, have good grades to work for someone. But when a young entrepreneur just break that a trailblazer, so I can consider them at White Tiger. Our mission was to help other entrepreneurs to be empowered, to be inspired, to follow through with their ideas.
Absolutely. Yes, Pruitt, like she is definitely one of those entrepreneurs who are working on and helping younger kids to become entrepreneurs. So Sloan, first is thank you. I am looking forward to having you in the mentoring tables, and please go and meet with others and really build your network. That's the way you can actually engage. Is that good? Thank you for coming. I'm glad
Thank you.